So what happens when a global giant's most important tool becomes its biggest anchor? Today, we're going to dive into a case study of how one major company basically untangled this messy, outdated system to completely transform its future. Seriously, it's a masterclass in how to do this right.
I mean, this is the exact question that keeps executives up at night, right? You're a leader in your industry, your teams are absolutely top-notch, but a really critical part of your whole operation is running on some sputtering decades-old tech. So what do? Do you just keep patching it up, or do you make that bold choice to just rebuild from the ground up? Let's see what they did.
Okay, so let's set the stage. We're talking about a leading global engineering enterprise, a huge, successful player on the world stage. But, under the hood, a pretty serious problem was brewing. And here it is, the core conflict. On one side, you've got this thriving worldwide operation, and on the other, the technology that was just holding it all back, a single monolithic system. Now, if you're not familiar, think of a monolith as one giant tangled-up block of code that's trying to run everything. Any small change could literally break the whole system. It couldn't scale up with the business, and it was just creating these massive bottlenecks all across the globe. And look, this wasn't just some abstract tech problem that only the IT department cared about. It was causing real, tangible business pain that was getting pretty much impossible to ignore. First up, inconsistent outcomes. Just imagine this. Your team in Paris and your team in Tokyo are using the exact same tool, but they're getting totally different estimates for similar projects. For a global engineering firm, that's not just a little glitch. That's a massive credibility crisis waiting to happen. Second, the workflows were just painfully slow and manual. I mean, it was like trying to push a boulder uphill every single day. Every step was bogged down by these clunky, outdated processes, creating huge delays. And in a fast-moving industry, they were losing their competitive edge with every tick of the clock.
And third, leadership was basically flying blind. They had almost no real-time data on what their teams were actually doing around the world. So making those crucial strategic decisions, that was based more on guesswork than on actual facts. Not good.
So you can see how all these little problems were just piling up and turning into a full-blown crisis. You've got inconsistent results, painfully slow manual work, no real data for the people in charge, and no way to roll out new features. The system was just cracking under the pressure, and something had to change, and it had to change fast.
But here's where the story really takes a turn. Instead of just slapping another patch on it, they laid out this bold blueprint for a total transformation. Their goals were ambitious, but they were also crystal clear. They needed a modern platform that could actually scale. They needed true global collaboration, in real time. And above all else, they needed accurate, reliable results that they could actually trust. So you see, this wasn't just a tech refresh, it was a fundamental strategic overhaul, designed to be secure, high-performing, and totally ready for the future. And to pull this off, they chose a seriously modern tech stack. Now, the key decision here, the real game changer, was using .NET Core microservices. So instead of that one giant monolithic block of code, think of microservices more like Legos. Each function is its own small, independent service. And what that means is you can update, fix, or scale one little part without breaking the entire system, which is the exact opposite of their old problem. Okay, so that's the tech. But what did all that code actually do for the people who had to use the system every single day? Well, the payoff was huge. The new platform brought in automated workflows to completely get rid of those manual delays. It gave leadership those real-time dashboards they were so desperate for. And that automated calculation engine, it finally delivered accuracy and even provided version control. See how each new feature directly targets and solves one of those core business problems we talked about earlier? Just brilliant.
This all sounds great in theory, but did it actually work? Well, now we get to the really exciting part, the real, hard numbers that prove just how big of an impact this transformation had.
First, a 40% improvement in the speed of their estimation cycles. That is a massive gain in efficiency. Processes that used to get bogged down for weeks are now just flying through the pipeline nearly twice as fast.
And maybe even more impressively, a 60% reduction in manual errors. So by automating the system, they didn't just get faster, they got a whole lot better. And that builds trust, not just inside the company, but more importantly, with their clients. You can see the impact visually right here. On the left, that's the number of manual errors with the old system. And on the right, the new platform. That dramatic drop isn't just a number on a chart. It represents a fundamental improvement in the quality and reliability of their work, all driven by smarter technology. And the impact went way beyond just speed and accuracy. They now have consistency across all their global teams, which is huge. They could roll out new features and models super quickly, and stakeholders finally have the visibility they need to make smarter, faster decisions. But maybe most importantly, they built a platform that's ready for whatever comes next.
So we'll end on this thought. This whole case study just shows the incredible potential that's unlocked when a company finally decides to tackle its aging technology head-on. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What is the one legacy system that might be holding your own organization back from its true potential?